In this Helldivers 2 video, we're going to be discussing the one build that can crush any faction in the game. This build is designed to be able to basically mirror a challenge run. So if you run around the bots, the illuminates, and the bugs, you can use this one loadout to do that. What we're going to be doing in this video is we're going to be breaking down each of the items in detail to tell you exactly why I chose them for the particular faction. And you're going to be seeing some gameplay of me using it against all three factions very seamlessly as well. So anyways, we got a lot to talk about. Let's do it. So for the primary weapon, this was a tough one, but I ended up going with the Purifier. The reason why I chose the Purifier is because it encompasses everything that we're going to need from a primary weapon against all the factions. Against the bugs, you need something that's going to be very CC heavy, but also great at clearing. Against the illuminate, you're going to need something that's great at clearing and also great for taking on things like the flesh mobs and also the overseers. And against the bots, you're going to need something that is just great for being able to do decent damage against devastators, against the strider units, and against the berserkers and all the different medium units on the battlefield. In the game, there is no better weapon than the Purifier at doing all of these jobs and even more, in my opinion. Taking a look at the Purifier in a little bit more detail, you have two different fire modes, which makes this thing excel against all three factions. You have a charge up mechanic, which is the best version of the Purifier. You charge up the shots, has a wide AoE, will stagger the hell out of enemies, as well as, again, it's going to deal 500 total damage in terms of the direct damage and the splash explosion damage. Now, the splash explosion damage, meaning the area effect explosion damage, is going to affect most of the units, is going to be 300 damage. So it's not going to be the primary source of damage, but any enemies directly hit with this shot is going to deal 500 damage. As well as you have a semi-auto feature where you can just burst fire and just tap the trigger as fast as possible, and you will shoot a bunch of shots down range. This is great for being able to clear units that are just directly in front of you if you don't want to accidentally explode them in front of you and things like that. So it's absolutely great for just damage and overall clearing. And then also it's just incredible for ammo economy. If you primarily use a charge mode, you get 15 total shots in a magazine, and this is just plenty to be able to deal a lot of damage to the various units when you're charging them up, because you're clearing so fast and so many enemies that you're gonna have tons of ammo to go around for the various units. And then lastly, of course, it has medium penetration, which is going to be great against the bots. It's going to be great against the illuminates, and it's also going to be great against the bugs. So against the factions, just simply put, this is going to be your workhorse for dealing with the medium units. So you got the strider enemies, you got the berserker enemies, you got devastators, you got alpha commanders, you got spear units, you got overseers, whatever you got to face on all three fronts. You're going to use this primarily to do the bulk of your clearing. So this is what you're going to be leaning on very heavily. And again, it's going to be great from just being able to control the battlefield. You're going to be able to stop devastators from shooting their rockets. You're going to be able to stop striders from actually shooting missiles at you as well. You're going to be able to actually do good damage to hulks if you shoot their vent area. You can use this thing to actually deal with chargers if you shoot them in the butt. You can use this thing to damage harvesters when their shields are down. So the versatility of this thing is endless, but the main thing with this weapon, that's the most important thing, is that you're going to be using this for crowd control and clearing. That's exactly what this weapon is for. For our secondary weapon, we're going to be bringing in the ultimatum, specifically to deal with anti-tank situations as well as objectives. Everybody that's been playing the game for a while knows how good the ultimatum is. It's not quite as good as it used to be back in the day, but it is still incredible at being able to deal with many elite units in the game. So essentially, on all three fronts, it's going to have great value. For the bug and the bot front, this is going to operate very similarly. So on the bug front, you're going to be using this to deal with the charger variants, the bile titans. On the automaton front, you're going to be using this to deal with the hulks, help you with the factory striders and things of that nature. And then you're going to use this for general objective clearing from the shrieker towers, the spore towers, fabricators. You can use this to clear just command bunkers, whatever situation you're going against on the bot front, you can use that to help you clear as well. Against the illuminates, it's not going to be as great on the harvesters, but it will work really well against the flesh mobs. You got a multiple flesh mob situation, shoot this in there and it's going to heavily deal damage to those guys, as well as it's going to be great for dealing with the warp ships. You can just shoot this at a warp ship with its shield up, and it's going to help you clear it very easily. And then again, it's going to help you with some random objectives as well on the illuminate front outside of that. So on all three fronts, it's going to have different use cases. I would say this is probably the weakest on the illuminate front. It's so powerful on the bots and the bug front that we basically need this thing in order for the build to work fully as intended. For our equipment item, we're going to be bringing in the thermite grenade. Now, I thought about this quite a bit, and I thought about gas grenade and some other grenades as well, but I wanted to go less CC for this particular loadout and go more just dealing with anti-tank stuff on my own without having to dive so heavily into that for the stratagems. So the thermites are going to fit perfectly. Essentially, the thermites are once again going to be very similar to our ultimatum, where it's going to be great for anti-tank and objective clearing. Against objectives on all three fronts, the warp ships are going to be able to be taken down with their shields still up with the thermite grenades, which is insanely useful. And on the bug front, you can use this to destroy bug holes where needed. You can use it to destroy shrieker towers, spore towers, and things of that nature. And on the bot front, it can help you with fabricators. It can also help you with command bunkers and all those various things like that. So it's got a ton of utility on all three fronts from an objective standpoint. And against the elite units on all three fronts, it's very strong as well. One-shot Hulks or one-shot Chargers, if you hit them in the face or just generally anywhere on their body, it's going to be able to take out flesh mobs very quickly. It's going to be great against the Harvesters if you want to use it against them when their shield's down. Bile Titans you can work on. It can work really, really well on the Factory Striders if you throw it on their undercarriage or just in general to help you with ultimatum shots. You can throw thermites on there as well to make you take them out faster. So overall, again, it has a ton of utility on all three factions, and I just like it so much that it's just had to be in the build in some sort of way, especially again since we're going to be running more limited anti-tank support options in our stratagem section. For armor passive, I'm giving you two different options. Extra padding is going to be my favorite option personally, just for the general defense. I love running the medium variant because I can run around with medium armor and still have heavy protection. It's great on the bug front for being able to take extra hits and survive random explosions and things like that because of the extra effective health that you have. On the bot front, it's going to be great for the same reasons. And on the illuminate front, it's going to be great again if you get stuck in flesh mob, ragdoll hell, or things of that nature. It's going to help you take a little bit more damage, and you're going to be able to move around fast if you're running the medium variant. So that's what I quite like. So fortified is also going to be a great option as well, primarily for the explosion damage. Against all three factions, you just never know when you're going to have those random explosion situations. The illuminate had the little exploding barrels and things of that nature. The bot front has tons of explosions going on. On the bug front, the spewers will explode, and you have little balls of spew flying at you and exploding. So having passive explosion resistance is actually quite strong, so that's also a strong option. And one third option if you want to run this is going to be the Desert Stormer or the acclimated armor passive. Both of these armors give you just general damage mitigation against all sorts of elements. It's invaluable against the illuminate because you're going to get arc protection, which is great. Also will protect you from gas, which you are going to be using a gas weapon in this particular build, so that's great for that. And it will also give you general protection on the bug front from the acid damage that they can do from the Bile Titan spit to the hunter hits because they can actually apply acid to you. So in general, both the acclimated and the Desert Stormer armors are going to be great as well. But personally, my overall favorite in this build is going to be extra padding, followed by fortified, Desert Stormer, and acclimated. So for stratagem 1, we're going to keep this simple and bring in the supply pack. We're going to be using so many resources for different reasons on all three fronts. We're going to be expending a lot of ultimatum shots, expending a lot of thermite shots. So being able to get those back on the go with the supply pack is going to be very nice. Also, we're going to be expending a lot of stims, so being able to stim at any given time freely and be able to get them back is also very nice. Just in general, the supply pack is just incredible for utility. If you want to refund your teammates, if you decide to bring this build in with teammates, you can do it. Or if you're going solo, you can actually keep yourself supplied on the go, so you don't have to be so reliant on resupplies coming in and whatnot. So for the support weapon, I thought long and hard about this, and I decided to add the spear gun into this loadout because in my opinion, there's many other things you could choose, obviously, but in terms of utility on all three factions seamlessly, the spear gun has some of the most versatility of any weapon in the game right now, specifically because it can fill a ton of different roles. From the fact that it deals great CC with its gas effects, it can one-shot many enemies on all three fronts. Also the fact that it can clear objectives from bug holes to fabricators to warp ships, so that way you don't have to waste so many resources. So the utility of this thing is invaluable. So talking about the CC and when it's going to come into best uses, so basically the gas effect is going to be great on all three factions because gas is very strong against the illuminates, against the bots, and the bugs, depending on how you use it. You can use this on the bug front at your feet to just create a general gas cloud to confuse the bugs. It's going to be great there. If you shoot this into enemies and it sticks, it's going to create a gas cloud where it is. If you shoot this at a breach area, it's going to be able to help nullify a lot of that breach situation, as well as this gas effect will apply to chargers, confusing them as well. On the bot front, it's very similar. You can be able to confuse Hulks with this thing. You can confuse all the various Devastators or whatever unit you're going against. It's going to be able to be great at that. On the Illumina front, very similar. You can shoot this at a pack of Voltless. Is going to be able to confuse and kill them very easily. You can use this to confuse the flesh mobs. You can use it to confuse the overseers if it does actually work, because sometimes it won't. But in general, the overall gas effect is very good. Now, the other thing with the crowd control that is so good with this thing is the fact that it has 80 stagger, which is incredible against various different units on each faction. Against the bugs, you can actually take chargers out of their charging animation by hitting them in the face with a spear shot. It's absolutely incredible for being able to control them, as well as applying the gas effect to them. It can also stagger the Bile Titan titans out of their spitting animation. So if you see a bile titan starting to spit, just shoot this at their face and it's going to be able to stagger them out of that animation, which is insanely valuable. On the bot front, this stagger is not going to be as crazy, but it will work on the hulks. If you don't want to try and line up a face shot, just shoot them generally in their body and it's going to stagger them out of whatever animation they're in, and that's going to be strong. And on the illuminate front, it's going to be able to stagger the flesh mobs out of any animation they're in. You just shoot this thing at a flesh mob, and sometimes it will overpin and sometimes it will stick, but the general concept is that it's going to actually stagger whatever the flesh mob is doing. And then you can throw thermites on it, you can finish it off with your purifier, just pretty much anything you want to do to it, you can do to it, which is great. So overall, the crowd control effects from the gas and the stagger are just incredible on all three fronts. And then again, like I mentioned, it can one-shot many enemies on all three factions. On the bot front, I love this a lot because it can one-shot hulks, can one-shot Devastator units and Berserker units and all sorts of different units there. It will one-shot the Commander units. It'll one-shot the Spewer units. It will also deal heavy damage to the Chargers if you shoot them in the leg area. Now, you can technically one-shot a Charger if you shoot them through the butt area, but it's hard to angle all the time. So what's more likely going to happen is if you shoot the bug area, you can shoot it with a couple of spears and it will die eventually, which is really strong, or you can shoot in the leg area. And then against the Harvesters, you can actually shoot them in the eyeball area, and not only are you going to stagger them, but you can also take them out very, very quickly, sometimes in as little as one spear. I've only had it happen a couple of times, but you can do it, but more likely it's going to take you 2 spears, but that is also some utility as well. So in general, I just can't say it enough. The spear gun is probably the most versatile weapon. No, it's not a powerhouse, but it has so much utility just from what it can do, from the stagger, from the gas effect, to the fact it can one-shot many enemies, that, again, I just could not bring it in. And I love using this thing for being able to clear objectives as well on the bug front, because there's a lot of bug holes at any given time, and having this just run around and just shoot the bug holes is actually insanely nice. So overall, again, the spear gun is extremely useful on all three fronts. For Stratagem 3, we're going to be bringing in the Eagle Strafing Run. Now, the reason why I decided to bring in the Eagle Strafing Run over many other things in the red stratagem category is because it's just so useful. It has so much versatility, again, very similar to the spear gun. It can just do so many different things against the factions, many things I don't think people really know about. The strafing run is obviously going to be very good at clearing enemies in general. So it has a very predictable path of which it goes, just straight in front of you. So it's going to wipe the floor with bugs, bots, and illuminates. So it's just great for just general clearing and helping you just clear the map a little bit faster. It's also going to deal solid damage against the elites. So if you have this actually go full on a factory strider, it's going to do great damage, taking out the guns. It's going to deal great damage to it just in general, sometimes killing it in a lot of situations. It's going to be able to kill hulks very quickly if you angle it right. It's going to be able to take out chargers, take out bile titans, can help you with the harvesters and things of that nature. So in general, the utility of it versus the units in terms of clearing and against the elite enemies is there. And it's a great wombo combo with the ultimatum. When you're on the bug front and you're facing the bile titans, you can actually hit them with the strafing run and hit them with the ultimatum around the same time, and it will kill a bile titan, because right now it takes 2 ultimatum shots most of the time to kill a bile titan. But with this, you can actually save an ultimatum shot and just use a strafing run use. You can also use this to help you with the factory striders. You can use ultimatum shots and thermites and then hit it with the strafing run. And then of course, it's going to be great for helping us deal with objectives. It's going to help us take out the fabricators on the bot front. It can help us with the spore towers and the shrieker towers on the bug front. Again, it can help us with the shields and the harvesters and the warp ships, so that way we can take down the shields and the warp ships, pop a spear gun shot in there and take it out very quickly. So again, the utility of this thing is great. It's going to help us clear, help us with the leads, help us with objectives. There's not much of the strafing run can't do, and that's the biggest thing with this build, is that we need as many things that can do as many jobs as possible, and the spear gun and the strafing run are definitely 2 shining examples of that in this game. So lastly, for Stratagem 4, I decided to bring in one sentry, and that's going to be the Rocket Sentry. Now, the Rocket Sentry, in my opinion, is the best overall sentry in the game. I understand that's a debate. You got the Machine Gun Sentry and all sorts of other sentries, but I'm thinking in terms of dealing with all 3 factions. The Rocket Sentry, yes, has some weaknesses against the factions, but in general, if you place it well and you give it the opportunity to shine, it will help you clear and help you with anti-tank situations. So the great thing about the Rocket Sentry is that it has AP5, which is anti-tank, so it's going to be able to deal a ton of damage to the elite units, has a ton of ammo in reserve, also will lock onto enemies from great distances, and just in general has a good pace at which it shoots. So if you place this well, again, it's going to be able to help you on any front very effectively. So on the bug front, again, it's going to be able to help you with the bile titans, can help you with the chargers, it's going to help you take out just general units if you want to set this up near a breach. So if you have your crowd control options in place, meaning your spear gun, you're going to be able to gas up the enemies with the gas, and you can have the Rocket Sentry doing some crazy damage to breaches, as well as, again, it's going to help you with anti-tank situations. Now, obviously, if you're in the thick of it, you don't want to drop it down in the middle of units, but again, if you place this very well and learn how to place it well and set it up for success, it can do a ton of damage on the bug front and be very, very effective. On the bot front is by far where the Rocket Sentry shines the most, and this is where we want it the most, is the bot front. It's going to be great for being able to deal with any situation. Great for clearing enemies, great for helping you with factory striders, great for helping you with hulks, great for helping you with gunships. In general, this thing is just insanely good on the bot front. It's one of my favorite overall stratagems, and this is the main reason I wanted to bring it in, but it is really strong on the bug front as well. And then of course on the illuminate front, I feel like it's just got a lot of good situations as well, very similar to the bug front. If you set it up well, it can help you clear voltless, can help you clear the flesh mobs, can help you clear harvesters if you take down the shield, and will help you with the stingrays. So overall, Rocket Sentry, in my opinion, is going to be one of the best sentries you can bring in, just for a number of different reasons. No, it's not perfect. No, it's not elite against every single situation, but in my opinion, it gives you the most value for what it is. Quick cooldown, tons of ammo economy, great for clearing, can lock on enemies from great distances, can help you with anti-tank stuff. So again, you set this thing up for success on all three fronts. It's going to give you really good results. All right, to summarize all my thoughts on this, basically, again, the idea of this build is to give you as much versatility as possible and to have all the items in the build be able to play off each other as best as possible. Ultimatum thermites are going to be able to play very well off each other for anti-tank situations. You can also throw some eagle strafing runs to help you with anti-tank stuff as well as clearing. Spear gun is just going to be great for being able to help crowd control, just keep control of the battlefield, one-shot many enemies. It's going to be very versatile for helping you with objectives. Purifier is going to be able to be great for dealing AoE damage and clearing, help you with crowd control for staggering the hell out of enemies. And just in general, the Rocket Sentry is going to be a good, well-rounded tool to help support you while you're running around and doing things. And you're going to be able to keep the whole build flowing with something like the supply pack to keep you fully funded on resources. So in general, again, this build covers you in all the areas you need to be covered on for each of the fronts. As a general concept, if you want to take a build to just do like a challenge run or just try and test yourself, this is one of the better builds in the game for being able to go against all the factions at once in a seamless run. But all right, that's all my thoughts on the one build to crush them all. Let me know what you guys think about this video down in the comments below. Make sure you like and subscribe for more content similar to this. But anyways, I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.